If you are someone who is not into coding and you already know that coding is not for you, this video is for you. I've made a video on is coding necessary in 2026 recently. And in that video, I've explained is really coding necessary or not. So you can watch that video too. But if you already watched that video and if you are here, that means you already know that I have discussed 4 career paths in that video that you can take right now. We are going to talk about the first career path in this video today, which is no code, low code automation path. So you can go from executive, just a junior to specialist to a senior. I'll provide you a detailed roadmap and explain how this works and how it can be implemented in the real world scenarios and real world companies too. So what you see is going to be different. I'm going to, briefly explain about the phases of the roadmap, and I'll provide you the documents so that you can understand clearly what I'm talking about. Basically divided into 4 to 5 phases depending on what you want to learn. Phase 1 is foundations. So it's basically like how automation works, what is automation, the triggers, the APIs, the logics, using different tools, how you can integrate small tasks like let's say Google Sheets to your any specific company tool, or your repetitive task like you can integrate with using Make or Zapier. That is something you have to learn over here. You have to learn how these integrations, simple task, repetitive task can be automated. Next, you will learn workflows. So how you can do this full-on automation, how you can integrate your CRMs, how you can integrate your using webhooks, using tools like N10 to make workflows, connecting various applications and integrating them. This is where you learn which is intermediate level. And phase 3 is advanced. This is where you move to system design. This is where you build dashboards, you build credibility, monitoring those dashboards and data. You start building solutions and save money and time. This is where your advanced is. You're building something that means like real money and value too. Of course, in phase 1 and 2 is also you're saving money and time, but not on the scale. This is where you upscale yourself in the advanced version. Now phase 4 comes to, if you want to learn more, you can do here. What you have is your freelance and looking for a job. So this is where your real journey starts. So for this, what you have to do is first build portfolio, and you have to do some projects. Why I'm saying projects and why everyone says projects? Projects is what defines you. How much have you worked on this? How much practical experience do you have on this? That is what project defines, not simply some random thing that you have done or so for a certification or something. Project means you have worked on something which is real-time data. So then you can start applying for jobs, or you can do freelancing, you can do some, content creations like me. You can put your what you have done in your project on a YouTube or an Instagram or anywhere. Mostly people put on LinkedIn. Applying and freelancing for a job is your take. You can choose whatever path you want, but I suggest you go for a job because you learn much more there once you be in a company and working over there. Now comes the phase 5, which is really not necessary, but if you're much more interested and you want to grow more in your career, you can go to exploring more from your no code low code automation thing. You can explore RAGs, you can explore pipelines, LLMs, AI automations, building autonomous workflows, designing complete applications for your company or any solutions at that matter. So what you're doing is designing a full-fledged solutions for that company or agent that or client that you have connection with. Go to this phase only after you have completed the above 4 phases. You got a job or you're working for someone. So that is your roadmap. You feel like what, that's only? Don't worry, I've explained everything in a document and I put detailed information phase by phase, what you have to learn, the skills, the tools, everything over there. Because if I explain that over here, this video would be long. So that link is in the description. You can simply go and download that. Now download the PDF. Now let's get into what I'm talking about, real world scenario. This is not something every person explained to you or every creator explained to you. Of course, roadmaps are always there. They tell you their experience and how they worked on. But what I'm going to do is something differently. How you can use these skills, the tools that you have learned, the software that you have learned, and your real world companies. That is something no one tells you. Basically, I've seen a lot of videos, no one tells us that. So how you're going to use these skills? So in real life, how companies actually automate. So here also, let's go phase by phase. So let's just say you are in foundation stage, phase 1. So your team comes, or your manager or any other person from other team comes and tells you, hey, can you automate this, and tells you a vague description of what they are doing. But don't say immediately like, yes, we can do it. No, ask questions, always ask questions. What is the process, what you're doing, what are the tools that you're using, or what are the applications that you're using. Check, can we automate this or not? Let's just say, give me some time, let me check on this, or go with him, sit on his desk or sit with him and see how his process is working on. If they cannot give you the process and all the details, just ask them, what they are doing, what they want, what is their end goal, what is the user and the end user. So asking questions is always important. So what you're doing in these foundations, you're basically putting up triggers, you're integrating small applications to one another, you're solving repetitive tasks. See if this falls in your line of what you have learned in foundations. If it's not in this phase one, then it's definitely in the other phases, right? So what others think when it's automation is basically we can automate anything. That's not how it works. Tell them clearly that this is your use case, so this is what we can do, and let him understand if it's possible or not. Or else if he doesn't understand, then you have to do it and explain to him like this is how it works. Because I know that a lot of people don't understand what we are doing, and they come in and say, why can't you do it, or just do it. That's not how it works. So now let's go into this phase 2. So this is where you're integrating your CRMs, other teams data, productivity apps, or let's just say productivity applications or project management tools, and a lot of applications. You are integrating all of them and automating the tasks which are there. And basically let me give you an example. Let's just say you have your sales team, you have your operations team, and you have your marketing team. What your marketing team does is you to bring clients or bring business to you. So what your sales team does is basically have a deal with them and close that deal, whether we are taking that deal or we are not taking that deal. So if the sales team closes the deal, they have to inform the operations team. So there is someone who informs them or who stays in touch with them. Let's just say they have closed like 4 to 5 deals and they have not informed the operations team to plan before ahead. This is where your problem comes in. But if you have an application specifically for this, from marketing to sales to the operations, so if the marketing team says 10 people have booked a demo, they are coming, and your sales team has to be like, take those, and we have closed the deal with 5 people from the sales team, then the operations teams has to be informed. This process where you have the the 3 teams process has to be. So if you have integrated this 3 teams process, let's just say you have an application for your company, and so they have to be in touch somehow, and they have to know that, okay, we got this client, the sales team has closed these deals to the operations team, so that they can plan ahead, they can assign employees, and the general company stuff. If you can automate that, you're making your company's life easier. You feel like it's a small task, but in actuality it's not, because people tend to forget some things, but not with the AI or the machines, right? So there are a lot of other examples like this. You get a problem, your manager comes in, why is it not working? So you have to sit and check what's happening, because you're in intermediate stage, you have to know what's going on, right? So your manager will freak out, but it's your job to calm him and let him understand. And if you have a senior, then it's much easier for you. But if you don't, if you are the only one, then you have to let him calm and understand what's going on. Let's sit and check this and explain to him clearly. Of course, I can go too technical into this, but I assume if you're watching this video, you're not familiar with this term, so I would like to keep it simple as possible. So now comes the phase 3. Oh, this is very total advanced, and I feel like if you are in that state, whatever you try to explain to others, sometimes you might actually use technical words, which is confusing. But I suggest you never go too technical when you're explaining to your manager or other teams. Of course, your manager, if he's familiar with your terms, then that's okay. Or your team members or team leads, right? But if you're explaining it to other people, then don't do that. Always be simple manner. And what you do is here basically design advanced systems, build own applications for your company, build own tools for your company, integrate a lot of workflows, because you already did that. So now what you're going to do is use all of those and build own tool for your company. And this is where you do system designing. So system designing is not that easy. It's really complex, and you have to understand everything, because building is one thing and maintaining is one thing. So maintenance is what is really hard. If you have a bike and you have to maintain it, you already know what I mean. If you clearly want like how would this actually work in the company, I can explain that, but as I said, this video would be too long. We will discuss this in another video if possible. Just comment down below if you want to learn more about this. So now let's just say coming to the phase 4 is basically your office life, right? So your office life involves a lot of things. So once you have solved all of this, your office people or your team or your manager wants you to do something else. So that's where you have to choose a specialization. If you have the opportunity, choose, like if you want to go purely into AI automation, or you want to build RAGs, LLMs, or you want to altogether have a different idea of yourself, because this time you're not following just a template. We are following our own path. So You can put your own role if you want to too. That's going to define the future. And as I said, the phase 5 is a different thing. The both phase 4 and 5 integrate each other once you move into your office life. Push, that was long. Okay, what my suggestion is for you is don't take this roadmap lightly. You have downloaded that, you have seen like couple of things, and you have learned a couple of tools like Make, Zapier, and you just seen videos or tutorials of them, but don't take them lightly. Practice them. You won't get everything easily. I didn't get. I felt really frustrated. But the thing is, from that frustration builds up your knowledge. You become who you are from your failures, right? Don't give up on halfway or just after 1-2 days, because it takes time. You might think that 6 months is not that much big deal, but in actuality it's a really big deal. It can make a lot of difference for you. So, and when some people, when they see if they're experienced or they went through this, 6 months is really a very short time. Yes, but it's not actually, if you do correctly. This is not a shortcut. It's a mindset shift, basically. If you have that mindset to complete it within this time, if you can do that, then you can achieve a lot of things in your life much faster. So think this entire roadmap or this entire no-code, low-code automation path as an engineering semester, basically. If you're in BTech, you're familiar with semester systems, right? I feel like even in degree, right? You get, for 6 months, you have a semester, and in that semester, you'll learn a lot. I mean, a lot, like various subjects. But this is not it. You're learning just one path, right? So 6 months is more than enough for you. And once you're done with the semester, and if you got the skills that you needed, then you can go to the next semester, right? So now, if you find this video helpful, like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll make the second part of this 4 different career paths that I have talked about. So that is going to be in the next videos. I'll be looking forward to make that video, because that is what I'm much more hyped about. And as I said again, guys, so making this is not easy for me. So if you can support me and subscribe and follow on my Instagram page, that is really helpful, and share it with your friends who feel like they're not into coding or they don't want to learn coding, right? Wow. I'm really glad I made this video, because it opened new things to me too.